yesterday we stopped at these lines. 4 sources for the increase of amassed wealth. Abstaining from womanizing, going around looking for women's from drunkenness, being alcoholic, drink a lot of beers, wines, from gambling, and from evil friendship. The next one, these 4 things, Byaga Paja, lead to a family man's welfare and happiness in the present life. What are these 4? 4 other things lead to a family man. Okay, that was referring to the one we have read. Okay, now we are going to focus on the future life. 4 other things lead to a family man's welfare and happiness in the future life. What 4? Accomplishment in faith, moral discipline, generosity, and wisdom. And how is a family man accomplished in faith? Here, Byaga Paja, a family man has faith. He places faith in the enlightenment of the Tathagata. So the Blessed One is an Arahant, perfectly enlightened, accomplished in true knowledge and conduct, fortunate knower of the world unsurpassed, leader of persons to be tamed, teacher of Devas and humans, the enlightened one, the Blessed One. In this way, a family man is accomplished in faith. So the first one, for our happiness in future life, the first one we have to do is accomplishment in faith. Let me highlight this. Accomplishment in faith in what? Here, we should have faith in the Buddha. Okay, next one, Sister Saikyang, would you like to read?
And how is a family man accomplished in moral discipline? Here, Vyagapaja, a family man abstains from the destruction of life, from stealing, from sexual misconduct, from false speech, and from wines, liquors, and intoxicants, the basis for negligence. In this way, a family man is accomplished in moral discipline.
Okay, thanks, Sister Saikyang. Okay, the second one is the one we chant every morning. We have 5 precepts. Abstaining from killing, stealing, from sexual misconduct, from false speech, and from alcoholic drinks. The basis for negligence. This is an accomplishment in moral discipline. Okay. Next one, Sister Aike, would you like to read?
And how is a family man accomplished in generosity? Here, Bhagapaja, a family man dwells at home with a mind devoid of the stain of stinginess, freely generous, open-handed, delighting in relinquishment, one devoted to charity, delighting in giving and sharing. In this way, a family man is accomplished in generosity.
Okay, thanks, Sister Aike. The third one here, generosity, I suppose actually most Buddhists that I met is actually pretty generous. They are also active in volunteering, like Saikyang doing the food distribution on Monday, right? So most Buddhists that I met are pretty generous. So it's probably not a problem for us. Okay, next one, Sister Chaikon, would you like to close the sutta?
And how is a family man accomplished in wisdom? Here, Bhagapaja, a family man possesses the wisdom that sees into the arising and passing away of phenomena that is normal and penetrative and leads to the complete destruction of suffering. In this way, a family man is accomplished in wisdom. These four things, Bhagavata, lead to a family's welfare and happiness in the future lives. Thank you.
Thanks, Sister Chekwan. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. This sutta is taken from Anguttara Nikaya 854. Okay, the last one is an accomplishment is in wisdom. What exactly is wisdom? Here is referred to the wisdom that sees into the arising and passing away of phenomena. Yeah, actually, to me, this seems to be a pretty high standard the Buddha sets for a householder. Isn't this wisdom is the wisdom that leads to Nibbana? But I guess to the extent that you see this is to the extent that your suffering will dampen down. If you have like 10% of wisdom, then you will have 10% less suffering. Okay, any questions or comments for this sutta? Okay, now we're going to read about right livelihood. Sister Billy, would you like to read?
For right livelihood, avoiding wrong livelihood. These 5 traits, O monks, should not be taken up by a lay follower. It is trading in weapons, trading in living beings, trading in meat, trading in intoxicants, trading in poison. Anguttara Nikaya 5.177.
Okay, thanks, Sister Billy.
Thank you.
Okay, so why is trading in weapons not encouraged? Well, weapons is meant for killing living beings, yeah, so it's not something wholesome to do. Trading in living beings, this one, well, human trafficking is an obvious one, selling human beings. Trading in meat, yeah, like a butcher, or yeah, all those involved in direct killing. Trading in intoxicants, in alcohol, and also trading in poison, because poison can be lethal, can be deadly, harmful to people. So the principle here is whatever is harmful to people, try to avoid that as a livelihood, especially. Any comments on this one? Okay, if not, let's continue reading. Sister Xinghui, would you like to continue?
Number 2, the proper use of wealth. The Blessed One addressed the householder, Anatta Pindika. With the wealth acquired by energetic striving, amassed by the strength of his arms, earned by the sweat of his brow, righteous wealth righteously gained, the noble disciple undertakes 4 worthy deeds. What for? With the wealth thus gained, he makes himself happy and pleased and properly maintains himself in happiness. He makes his parents happy and pleased and properly maintains them in happiness. He makes his wife and children, his slaves, workers, and servants happy and pleased and properly maintains them in happiness. He makes his friends and colleagues happy and pleased and properly maintains them in happiness. This is the first case of wealth gone to good use, fruitfully applied and used for a worthy cause.
Thanks, Sister Xinghui. So again, here the Buddha acts as financial advisor. How to use your wealth, the Buddha tells Anathapindika. So here, the first one, the Buddha tells him to make himself happy and pleased, firstly. And secondly, his parents, then his wife and children, and everyone around him, his slaves, workers, servants, and lastly, his friends and colleagues. Make them happy and pleased, properly maintains them in happiness. Okay, next one. Okay. Further, householder with the wealth thus gained, the noble disciple makes provisions against the losses that might arise on account of fire and floods, kings and bandits, and unloved heirs. He makes himself secure against them. This is the second case of wealth gone to good use. So here, the second one is to protect whatever you have gained from whatever harm that might occur to the wealth that you have amassed. During that context, is account of fire and floods, kings and bandits, and unloved heirs. Today, in today's context, we have to protect against inflation, protect against accidents, so we buy insurance. And further, householder with the wealth thus gained, the noble disciple makes the 5 kinds of offerings to relatives, guests, ancestors, the king, and the devas. This is the third case of wealth gone to good use. Further, householder with the wealth thus gained, the noble disciple establishes a lofty offering of alms to those ascetics and Brahmins who refrain from vanity and negligence, who are settled in patience and gentleness, who are devoted to taming themselves, to calming themselves, and to attaining Nibbana. An offering that is heavenly, resulting in happiness, conducive to heaven. This is the fourth case of wealth gone to good use. Fruitfully employed and used for worthy cause. So here, the third one is generosity to people around us, the king and the devas, and also the ancestors. And the last one is generosity to the Sangha, to the ascetics and Brahmins who practice well. Okay, Sister Saiken, would you like to continue?
These, householder, are the 4 worthy deeds that the noble disciple undertakes with the wealth acquired by energetic striving, amassed by the strength of his arms, earned by the sweat of his brow, righteous wealth, righteously gained. For those whose wealth is expended on other things apart from these 4 worthy deeds, that wealth is said to have gone to waste, to have been squandered and used frivolously. But for anyone whose wealth is expended on these 4 worthy deeds, that wealth is said to have gone to good use, to have been fruitfully employed and used for a worthy cause. Taken from Anguttara Nikaya 4.61. Thank you.
Thanks, Sister Saiken. So these are the 4 things that the Buddha tells Anathapindika how to properly use the wealth. If you use it otherwise, it will have gone to waste, the Buddha said. Yeah. Any questions or comments?
Actually, this one links back to just now, the welfare and happiness that we have read. That means the generosity part, right? So yeah, we want happiness for ourselves and for those that are close to us, and also to the kings, the devas, to ascetics, and how to not lose that wealth that we have gained so, difficultly, right? Sweat to the brow, and yeah, we are striving energy and all that. So I think Buddha is very consistent. He always, encourage the lay disciple to not only look after ourselves in the happiness in this present life, but also to plant wholesome seeds so that for our future lives we can benefit also. Yeah. So I think this is a very helpful sutta for us to keep this in our practice.
Yes, yeah, that's true. Yeah, well, you mentioned that the Buddha is very consistent. Yeah, that's why he's perfectly enlightened. Okay. Thanks, Sister Saiken, for the comments. Anyone else?
I have an observation and question though. It doesn't talk about the use of wealth to help the poor or for charitable cause, like for donation. So I wonder it has to do with the time when Buddha is in. I'm trying to see where you can put a wealth for donation. Maybe at that time there's no such concept of giving to the poor. I don't know. So I just have these observations. The other probability, I guess, is for happiness for us in this present life, really have to take care of ourselves first. So if you can do all these, it's already very good, right? So yeah, that's the other thought that came to my mind, that you really have to take care of yourself first before you extend to the society.
Mm-hmm. Okay. The Sister Saiken want to say something? Is it?
I thought the text did say about your servants, your slaves, and all that. So Buddha did say that in the community, right, if you take care of everybody, above, below, the six direction, right? Your parents, your teachers, your wives, your slaves, and everything. So if everything is taken care of, I don't know. He didn't mention about the less fortunate and all that. Probably they will be under slaves and servants. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe everybody will be working. There will be no beggars.
Yeah, I think maybe, yeah, that's right. Because probably at that time when you are very rich, you already have many servants and slaves to take care of. Unlike these days, if you think about Bill Gates, right, he's got so much money, then he can even buy an island, so he can actually just contribute to the wider society.
And also, I think because of previous how the monarch rules, right? That means how the king is the one that actually take care of the poor, I suppose. If they are needy and all that, the king should be the one that has a lot of wealth, so he should be the one to look after the less fortunate, or those in need. And as householders, as common lay followers, so our duties are just so as stated. I don't know, just guessing.
Okay, I think, yeah, that's a very good observation by Sister Billy about why the poor is not included. And Saiken did mention about the servants, the workers, and the slaves. Yeah, probably that's tangentially related, but there's no specific mention of the poor outside of your servants or your slaves. So interestingly, that made me recall I attended Bhikkhu Bodhi's class, and he did mention something about this, that most of the time in the suttas, you see a generosity to the Sangha members is emphasized, is mentioned a lot of times, but not the poor. So Bhikkhu Bodhi did acknowledge that this is, he thinks, is one of the weakness of the Pali Canon, that it's not emphasized on serving the society or the poor, at least. And he also acknowledged that this is also one thing we can learn from the Mahayana tradition, because the Mahayana traditions likes to serve people. Yeah. So it is interesting to see Bhikkhu Bodhi, the translator of the Pali Canon, said that we have to try to embrace other traditions and learn from them as well. I would try to find that clip if possible. It's been a while, so need some time to find it. But very good observation, Sister Billy. Yeah. Anyone else would like to add? Okay. If not, then we can end here. 燕消三藏之烦恼，燕得智慧真明了。普愿罪障悉消除，实是长生菩萨道。阿弥陀佛。Till we meet again, may we be guided by the Buddha, Dharma, and the Sangha. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Have a worthy Saturday ahead. Thanks everyone for the discussion today. We have a fruitful one, I feel.
Thank
See you guys next time. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.